All right, in this lesson, we are going to start off looking at the style.css file. And the reason we start here is there's a very special comment that goes in the head or top of our style.css file that contains meta information about our theme. So if we're to come over to the WordPress docs for the style.css file, we'll see here that style.css displays information about the theme in the Appearance Themes dashboard panel, or if you're searching for the theme somewhere else. And it does this, and we'll see that WordPress does this in a number of ways by displaying specific comments named specifically that then WordPress can search for and pick up. So what you're going to do is start over at this URL. You can get the link from the lesson notes, copy this, and paste it into your style.css file. So I'm over here in my editor and I'm pasting this in, and let's just take a moment to go through some of this and fill it out. So the theme name is going to be WP Hierarchy. The theme URI, now we don't have a URI for this theme. This could mean a couple things. If you eventually submit a theme that you make to the WordPress.org directory, you could put it there. If you have a different site, if you have a personal site with a blog post talking about this theme that you launched or a section of your site, you could put it there. Also, if you don't have it, you could remove it. So most of these fields we're going to try to fill in, but they are optional, some of them. So if we remove them, they won't see that extra information, but that's okay. So next up is author, and I'm going to put my name. You can go ahead and put your name there. And the URI, you could put in your site. Hopefully you already have one. If not, that could be your other project that you're followed along with. And now description. This is pretty long, and I would suggest in general, if you're building a theme, to put in a nice long rich description of what you're getting. But this, we're just going to say demo theme for learning the WordPress template hierarchy. Cool. I don't know that this is really at version 1.0 for us, but we'll call it that. And license, I generally leave. WordPress is really big, of course, on open source and allowing people to take your work and modify it with attribution. And we're just going to leave these as they are. You could explore licenses in depth if you want on your own. But text domain is really important, and we do need to change this. And this is going to be how we reference our theme in the code. We'll use it for translation later. If someone was making a child theme, they'd need to know that. So we're going to call ours WP Hierarchy. Makes sense. Pretty clean. Short. Tags. Now, these are optional tags in WordPress. There's a set list of tags. You can't just make up whatever tags you want. And the reason is because in how WordPress lets you search and filter through themes by certain WordPress features. So again, these aren't just tags that you make up. You could go through and pick out which ones your theme will support. We're going to just leave these all in here because hopefully by the end of the course we will have covered pretty much everything here, but you could change that on your own. And then finally, underneath all that, notice that there's no word with a colon here. This could actually have a space. This is a longer description. And I'm just going to put some dummy content here, lorem to the longer description. Okay, so that is basically everything that we need for the style.css file to get started. So let's come back into the admin area, and I want to show you something. Okay, now I'm back inside my themes, and notice that automatically we're already seeing something different. We see the name of our theme, and we see a lot of information. Look at this, version 1 of WP Hierarchy by your person with a link, the short description, the tags that it all supports. Really handy, just like you would expect. We're looking professional already. So this is where that information is going to come from, the style.css file. And on occasion throughout this course, we'll go back there and make a few updates having to do with this metadata. But that's basically it. Now, the last thing I'll mention is that if we were to try to come in here and do something, like I'm just going to make the background color black to illustrate a point here. If we come over and view our site, notice that that style is not being applied. So just because we have a style.css file does not mean, just because we have it, and WordPress picks up the metadata here, it doesn't mean that our theme yet is wired to pull in that style sheet. So we still have to do a bit more coding in order for that to work, and that's what we'll start to look at over the next few videos. Now, one last little thing here. This is not a course on CSS, and I'll talk about CSS, but I'm not really going to teach it. So my expectation is that you already know it. Now, the benefit of that is that I'm just going to go ahead and give you a style sheet. So if you look in the downloads, you'll see a bunch of styles that don't even fully make sense now. But we'll be coming back to these again and again, and I just wanted to give it to you now so that we get something that looks nice, but also know that there's some things in here that we'll come back and talk to along the way that are kind of WordPress specific and why certain things are working the way they are. But we're just going to have them up front so that things will kind of look a little bit nicer than just a completely blank white HTML page to start off with. So if you want to grab those, you could throw them in now. Again, we're not going to type out all of this and talk about it, but you could simply copy and paste what you need over.